Today I'm presenting 3 ideas that will help you just force yourself to be creative rather than waiting for the time to strike. First one is just using a random object to create a sound. I have this dirt cheap ocarina, and I'm going to record directly into my computer's microphone a sample of this. And this is the only sound we're going to use for the rest of this video. So first thing we're going to do is just find out what pitch this is. So we're going to drag this into a sampler. Something like that, and I'll just add a little bit of attack in sampler. So now we can play chord, and it works alright. Let's move to step 2. Step 2 is using random objects to create notes and chords. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 Rubik's Cubes. Oh, this isn't a Rubik's Cube. Check out this video to see why. So, scrambled enough. These are the 2 faces I'm going to use like this. So I'm going to put them down, set our scale first. So we're going to go C. We'll do something happy, so we'll just go regular pentatonic. So major pentatonic. So that gives us the notes of C, D, E, G, A, and C. And I'm just going to go around 4 faces and turn this into music. So these are our 4 sides of this cube. I didn't use the top, didn't use the bottom, just so I had an order to them. Camera's struggling with focus. So this is what that sounds like. So I think this would sound better a bit slower, so maybe I'm gonna go for like 90. And what I'm going to do is where we have these 2, so like our GG, I'm just going to make that one longer G. Same here with that E. See what that sounds like. It's kind of cool, sounds a bit like an old ringtone, if I'm honest, but we can work with it. Maybe if we change our envelope here to more like a pluck. So that is our basic melody that we're going to use. So next option is chords. So what we could do is treat it so these notes and create a chord, but that wouldn't really work well for our line of orange. So what I'm going to do is maybe have it so our chords are playing triplets. I'm just going to use the first 2 rows of this side, I guess, which means we're going to have one very long chord. We'll make that work. So our first chord is going to be C major, and then green. Sounds alright. What I'd probably do is just come and it's a bit more attack. And we'll get rid of that. Up an octave. So nothing amazing, and I do think it still sounds like a ringtone. That's probably the scale we chose. But on to number 3. So the third method is pretty similar to the second, and we're just going to use a die to decide what audio effects we're going to use. So this could be a bit weird in that you're going to have probably like, you could end up with a reverb going into a compressor, going into a distortion, but that's the whole point of this, is just to have something completely random that you can then go and mess with. So I'm going to decide 2 audio effects. So 6 is a phaser, so I'm just going to go and add a phaser flanger here. And then a 3, which is a drive. So that actually should work quite well. I'll probably just use the overdrive. And then for our chords, we have 5, so that's a chorus. So it's chorus ensemble, isn't it? And then last roll, 6, which is a phaser. Okay, so it's gonna be a weird sound. So we'll start with the chords first, I'd imagine. So I'm just going to change the So those are chords. Nothing too major there. The effects, I mean, chorus going into a phaser. It's going to sound like a chorus going into a phaser. So, and here for our lead. Maybe on our chords. So let's see what these two sound like together, I guess. So it's not amazing. I definitely think these chords, just with the fact that it's like on the triplets, you could do something with that if you added like, just to play off the triplets, if you were to add, this is me going into stage 4, where it's like you take what you had in the confines that you set yourself and then you just do what you would normally do without all these special rules. So I would probably go and add a sidechain to this. Now this sidechain is just an auto pan preset. It makes it a bit more bouncy, particularly when you have the 3 of the triplets playing off the 4 of the sidechain. And then for our lead, just reverb. So together. In fact, you could even come in here with your same instrument. Again, this is all just that ocarina sample we recorded through my computer's microphone. Leave the phaser. Just come in with, and use an auto filter, just take a bit of the head. So let's keep this fairly simple actually as far as bass lines go. G. And then just extend you to the end. And we could come into the lead and just give it a bit of variation. So we actually use our triplets again, maybe something like this. And now that we already have these notes in, we could even just change the scale they're in. So let's change from C major pentatonic to C minor pentatonic. We could even just double time, or half speed rather, our melody. Now obviously what we've ended up here isn't particularly amazing, it's not even like that artistic really, but it's a starting point for something, and even just this little sound I created here for the lead. I'm probably actually just going to save this and use it as a preset for like my own stuff later on, maybe without the phaser flanger and the overdrive even, but you get the point. Is this is just to get you in the creative zone and kind of force you to do something even when you might not feel like doing anything. It kind of ties into my last Ableton video where I was just like, make your own presets whenever you have free time, because then you can just use them. I hope this helps someone. Cheers.